Hey, there's folks. I don't have audio as well. Well, I haven't said anything. That might have something to do with it. Can you hear me now? We can hear you. That's good. I don't know how much background noise you'll get. I've got two microphones on. My lovely wife, Janice. Let me go to Anvil and AI here. Let's go to Fire. My lovely wife, Janice, give me a real good set of Kamika microphones. And then her son gifted me with some Road to Go. Both way more expensive than I'd ever spend on myself. But there you go. And Cowboy, I've got a gift for you if you want it. I've got a remote microphone, wireless microphone, that I'm not going to use for anything, that works perfectly well. And I'd be willing to send that to you for you to use in your live streams. Three quarter, inch and a quarter. Ammo cam is on. I need to move that over there. Now then, let's find us a sharp corner over here. Set that on that anvil. I'd be more than happy to take it. Well, by golly, I'll just send it your way. I think I got your address. But if you would, email it to me at my username at gmail.com or yahoo.com, either one. I've got a tone class coming up a week from Saturday, and I need one set of half welded up tongs for my demo. Now I'm going to try something. I've got, like I said, I've in the description of this, I changed over to OBS Studio for this live stream, and I'm running SAMMI, which is a streamer bot controller. And I've got some voice commands, but it wasn't working a second ago. Let's see if it'll work now. Go, let's see, no, it's to all. No, it's not working. And supposedly, if you type anvil in the comments, it's supposed to switch to just the anvil cam, which it did. Ain't that something? To anvil and me. That's not switching. For some reason the voice is not working. I think it's turned on. Let me check here. No, it's not. To anvil and me. Nope, not working. Let me see if the mute will work. Mute! Nope, that didn't work either. Now I do know if anybody types mute in the comment, it will toggle my microphone. So if you're tired of hearing me, you can just type mute. No, that fire's in a good spot. You can see that, can't you? Everybody still there? Charming Hollow Forge. Well, they're there. Mute! Making some songs and live streaming to YouTube. No, you're not. My neighbor's here, everybody, but you can't hear him. It's a good thing because he uses profanity.
That's a weird way to make tongs. Say tongs.
Tongs.
Oh.
As in,
Between that and thongs.
like that. Or like that.
Mm.
Actually, this pair will end up like that. Hopefully. Because I'm going to cut that off, hopefully, and weld it on there. But I need extra stock for that weld down there. See how much bigger that is on the end?
Yeah. So you can build this.
I've got a tong class coming up. Well, no, it'll be right here where this piece welds onto this piece.
I got you.
This piece out here is out on the end of that other one. Let's see, I need that. Yeah. So what's going on across the holler?
Put stuff right. Trying to make less of a mess.
Yeah? Heat broke, huh?
New furnace. New water. Good times. That's money. Can't take from you, I guess.
You ain't spending on that, you're spending on alcohol.
Am I doing that too?
What you need to do is have you a great big Super Bowl party or a big game party and put a coffee can out.
Yeah. No work. When I was staying over at last weekend. Drink my beer. And my bourbon.
My favorite son, it's been a while back, had me go up to Danville to the carryout. Because they were supposed to have some limited bottles of Field of Dreams.
No. No dice.
No, because that place sold out up there at Danville. I believe the other owner probably had, his distributor had license for it, but he didn't. Because Apu's taking that over.
Yeah. Y'all can't hear me, can you? Yeah, I don't go in there no more.
But the liquor store in Avon, just past Lowe's, on the same side of the road, they had some bottles. Now, I wish I'd have bought more than one bottle. I just bought one bottle for him. I didn't know the deal with it. It was a limited. They made one bottle for every player in baseball.
No,
The exact number.
I didn't know that either. I knew they made it, but I didn't know
Yeah.
that was the deal. Huh. Well, the shirts balls got up the rough was Plus, at all. He'll, well, I won't say at all, but very, very rarely will he drink. And he starts asking me about all this bourbon, and he's asking me about all this. I like to walk it. I'm like, you're one of them assholes that's screwing up for people that act right. I said, if you go over to the house, I'll make my cold. If I get like a nice bottle, yeah, I'll you know, especially.
I won't get it out when you all are here.
Yeah, exactly. There's bottles that come out, and I don't care. No, yeah, there's over there. I don't care if the kids got into it. I don't just see that because I like to buy the barrel proof stuff, and that's not fine.
You know what?
18-year-olds on it and see how that goes.
What I've been drinking lately is the Costco brand. It's pretty daggone good and very inexpensive.
Yeah. Also, Tracy there counts. So I remember when I used to go walk in our fire there now. And when I can find it, it's limited. I can only buy one bottle, so I had to go like a little kid went in and out of the store for it. Total Line had one of that last week. They didn't have any of the field green. They had it if I keep looking at it.
Well, they won't get any now. Now, I went back to that place down there after I found out what the status was of it, and no, I don't have that anymore. I don't think they had but 3 bottles then. Jim said they released like 2,500 bottles online, and it was gone in seconds. I've got a bottle up there in my house, though, that's his, and I'm liable to remake the seal and put some of that Costco stuff in there. You're not watching, are you, son?
I figure you've done this once or twice. Back in your day. I know my dad's vodka wasn't great vodka.
Last Saturday? Yeah, last Saturday. I had a funeral service to give by Westfield. Was it the end? I think it was. My wife sent me a... No. I had a dentist appointment. Tuesday. She sent me. Somebody just pulled wide and ran off the road. They weren't in a hurry, didn't slide. Just...
It was nice out. Well, was that the day that it in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice out. It wasn't even wet.
Yeah, they just pulled wide and flunk.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that one. That's a nice car too. It used to be.
Well, I wondered, they must have tore something up in the bottom of it. I've got a piece of steel.
Well, it's just like the Oxford looked over and Proctor up there on Hartford Road and Joe Fortuno's. He was clearly, you want to need a video of it, exactly what happened. He was picking around and got over on the side of the road, got the thing all swirly, and then overcorrected and flipped the thing and through the fence. You see the pole that's up that way?
No.
Yeah. Oh, the props of the rich folks that own the whole damn county block there, that the big fields and the gates and all that across from the archery place there, going towards town.
Okay, yeah.
Their field just south of the gate. Their field there got a nice big hole in it. You can drive your box truck look right over the front of it. Right through.
There we go. Now, if everything works right, I'll weld that to that. like that.
How do you do that? With an actual welder?
No,
Yeah. I know the terminology a little bit.
I'm going to weld it by getting it hot enough in this fire that it'll have liquid steel forming on the surface, and the molecules will be excited and they'll just jump together. Or won't. I need magic pixie dust though. And my magic pixie dust spoon. Well, there's my dear dad. Yes, son, I was just talking about you and your bottle of whiskey. No, I haven't opened it. I didn't replace it with Costco liquor.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I'm just doing testing. To anvil. Bastard. I've got it set up so this thing's supposed to listen to my voice and change. If I say to anvil and me, it's supposed to have this camera and that one there, but it's just not doing it. Roy is going to be upset. No flux. Okay. I'm going to do things right. Seems like I got people watching. Brush that off first.
If you were going to do that, I wasn't going to tell you how to do it. You know.
Yeah. Well, the scale is what I'm trying to get rid of, this flake that's around here. If that's in there, it won't weld. It burns off at a temperature colder than welding temperature.
What is that stuff?
It's flux.
What's it made of?
Boric acid and some other stuff. Borax is,
Yeah. So it's good on pork chops.
well, maybe not this. This will cause a chemical reaction. It does four things. It causes a chemical reaction with the mill scale to make it melt quicker, so that it will get out of there quicker. It also provides a liquid so that when you bring the two pieces together and hammer on them, it'll help flush it out. It will also provide a glass-like surface on the steel so that air can't get to it to form more, because that's what it is. It's iron oxide, oxygen getting to the steel. And it'll also give you a little bit of a sense of unreality to make you think you can do this. I'm going to bring that out. Set the little piece down here, drop the tong, set the other piece on top of it, and hit it. Hopefully. Without those tongs going up my coat sleeve like they do every now and then. which makes it harder to drop them. It's not near as much welding as it is juggling. The welding temperature is right at 3,500, I think, 2,300 is welding temperature.
I assume it has to be right a certain range for it to work.
Yeah, I have to get it to that temperature. It will get hotter than that. It'll get hot enough to just burn the steel. Now see that green flame coming out of there? That's telling me I'm real close to temperature. I'll turn this on anvil and fire so that these folks can see the green flame. Because I'm just that kind of guy. I'm very helpful. Now, if those were ready to weld, they would be sticking together down there in the fire, and they're not. If I give it too much oxygen, it'll just burn it real bad. It'll oxidize the steel away. I don't think they're going to stick, but I'm going to try. I don't think they're going to stick, but I'm going to try it. I don't think they're going to stick. I shouldn't have tried it. But you can turn that whole piece into a pair of these and actually hammer this down to this size. So just beat the hell out of it.
That's what I was wondering if that's how you made them. It's two pieces.
Yeah, you can do that.
One piece, but you're not as fancy.
But I'm an old man, and you do it well. Like I did that pair that way.
Just beat the brakes off.
Yeah, but you can draw out a set of reins, and it reminds you that missing a couple of welds is not that big of a deal. Just I think I had too much oxygen, to tell you the truth. But like I said, I knew it wasn't going to stick. Might have to take my coat off. Ah, they're sticking now. Look at that. See how that's moving?
So they're touching inside underneath that?
Yeah, they're welding inside there. So it's going to work this time. If I can quit fooling around.
There.
Welded. Now you stick that back in there. And with those two pieces now touching each other, if I get them to a welding temperature, the molecules will join together even more and it'll weld sitting in there. Yeah. Yeah. It's hot. My son says it's 70 degrees where he's at today in beautiful downtown Bethany, Oklahoma. Can't remember if it was last Saturday. He took off on a motorcycle ride to get a hamburger. Said it was 60 degrees and the sun was shining. I relayed that information to my beautiful wife, Janice. And her response was, Jim is an ass. To which he replied, we'll tell her it's 70 today.
We're at a whopping 52 right now.
Yeah, it's 52 here. You piece of crap. Getting a tad toasty? Yes, I am. What's the weather like in Smyrna, Tennessee today? To Anvil. It keeps switching back to all.
Supposed to go to. You got one over.
That's the Anvil. I just switched it to Anvil and Fire.
So how many guys watch? Like, is that like your blacksmith, like one of your blacksmith groups that can see this, or is it?
Well, it's everybody. It's live on YouTube.
Oh, so people that follow you on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's quite a few in there. Mr. Ben Toombs from the state of Washington, isn't that right, Mr. Ben Toombs? Ben's about as tall as that anvil is, from what I understand. I've never met the guy, just know that he's short, vertically challenged.
Oh, very nice.
To Anvil. Yep, didn't go. Blend that toe in just a little bit. With that, I marked these off at 3/4, 3/4, and an inch. Inch and a quarter, excuse me. The first 3/4, I'll hammer at an angle like that, and that'll be that part right there. The next 3/4 is this part right here. And then the 1.5 inches is the boss, or where the rivet goes.
That's cool.
Unless whoever makes these, I'm making these for a tone class down in Waverly, Indiana on the 10th. And whoever makes these might want to make flat bits out of them, which they'll do that. And that's box jaws. These are just flat bits right here.
Okay.
Also, I can do that make a pair of these, put a piece of strap on the back and weld it on, and make box jaws on it. Now those are specifically made to hold my bulldogs. You just about need a set of tongs for everything you're going to hold. They'll hold flat stock like knife blades in this way. These are especially made for railroad spikes, holding the heads of railroad spikes. These are chain making tongs. And so are these. These are chain making tongs for when I've got a bunch, I can hang the chain on this and keep it up out of the way. Sunshine and 60 in Smyrna, Tennessee. That's just outside of Nashville. There's 1,400 and some guitar pickers in Nashville. Haven't what?
First day I haven't sunk going out to the burn pile.
Oh, yeah?
Normally we get a little money.
And when I first picked that up, I could tell that toe wasn't welded because that real thin piece that was on there was starting to darken because it was cooling off faster than this. But now that it's a part of that, it's cooling off at the same rate. That's one way you can know that the two pieces are welded. If they're changing color at the same exact rate, but they're different size pieces, they've got to be welded together. Got to be. As yet, I've had a set of these tongs break. I have not. Now you've seen an acetylene torch burn steel. You hit that with the torch and pre-warm it up to about 1,700 degrees, and that's where that mill scale starts to degrade. And you hit it with that oxygen. If the mill scale is not degraded, that you hit that oxygen and it won't burn through it. And that's why. If you get it up to about 1,700 and it starts to degrade and you hit that oxygen, it causes a reaction right at the end of that torch tip and oxidizes that steel out.
As weird as it is, I actually watched a guy that was building a smoker.
Yeah. And that's why you can't cut stainless steel with a acetylene torch, because you cannot oxidize it. It's real hot rusting is what it is. Well, the same goes true with this steel in here. I can, with just get this really cranking and blowing and get a lot of air going by it and burn it way before it's hot enough to weld because of all that oxygen. It's oxidizing the steel away. But I can set it in there and just get it hot.
You're kind of like built for that.
Yeah.
Built for science.
Yeah.
I like it.
And a lot of failed forge welds is because the steel looks like it's hot enough, but it's got too much oxygen in it. I watched a lady at the Artist Blacksmith Association of North America in Wilmington, Delaware. She took some pipe and made a vase out of that piece of pipe. And then she put that in a gas forge, and she laid the chain link that's on the front of a fireplace, that real fine chain. She laid a piece of that on it and got it up to welding temperature, reached in there with a piece of rod and tapped it on and welded it, put texture on that vase. It was just neater than all get out. But she was welding in the fire, just like this is.
At that point, that's pretty much welded. That's not gonna part there. It's not gonna break.
I don't think it is. All this beating and banging I'm doing on it. Now I can see a little bit of the joint, but
yeah, her eyes me. See it. So I got like looking for more. Oh, okay. Yeah.
now I can hide that. I've got some welding flux in there. It's got steel in it, mixed in with it. I can sprinkle some of that on there and melt it into that crack.
I see him do that.
And
Force the fire.
and
They're trying to get you in fast.
more than likely,
Like quench too hot or quench too cold.
more than likely, too much oxygen. Or if they're making Damascus and they got two different types of steel, it quenches at different temperatures and steel moves. It'll cause cracks.
See, I'm trying to fill those cracks. It never seems to work. At least in that show down there.
Nope.
It always kills me when they're built maybe $1,000 knife and some guy takes it there and switches it on the steel. Like, oh, okay. Glad I spent 5 hours doing that.
Now I'll get that up to temperature and wire brush it and make it all pretty.
100. I need to get
Not quite that hot. Just to where the mill scale will kind of come off freely. Now, 3/4. Three-quarter. Inch and a half. That's a good view from the anvil cam right now. Now I can see where to do that. My wife is cooking something up there. She had a bunch of jalapenos. She was a hot coughing and a hacking, cutting up jalapenos, and she had what looked like a whole handful of pepper and some onions cooking, and We went and had Italian with the Larkin family.
Oh yeah.
Right. Well, it was right around his birthday, which is right after Christmas. Now you can see the two marks I've put on it.
Right there.
So
What
then
was the third one?
the third one's this right back here.
Oh, okay.
That's the back end of the boss.
I gotcha. Yes, so you can get the
Right.
dirt to go through it.
Yep. So, well, I hit it with a punch, get it hot, hit it with a punch, and punch a hole through it.
Oh shit.
In about that long. They can't hear you.
Oh.
They can't hear this anvil.
Oh really?
I thought they would with this road. It's over here. This road to go, but it's not. Can anybody hear the anvil getting hit? You might be able to hear that.
Hear them stupid ass dogs on it.
My dog does not bark at them.
Really?
He'll bark at you
Yeah.
and loves to. He'll run up and down this just giving you hell.
I think my asshole dog comes over here and they're buddies, I think. I don't know. He ran out there the other night and he doesn't do it very often.
Now, he barks at the horses when they come up here. Of course, he can't see. He can't see from here to that maple tree. Over there. Well,
I gotta burn the stump out. Thought when I started to do that, maybe I would come over and burn yours out at the bottom of the hill if you're.
oh, I don't care. You want some good kindling to get it going good?
You got a bunch in there.
I've got a chair.
Oh. We've got all the stumps burned out at my wife's uncle's cabin. We go down there and stay for turkey season, and we burn all the damn stumps because we have to take care of all the dead trees. Over the last 3 years, I bet we probably got 6, 7 stumps burned right down the region, lower at the bottom.
Some stumps will burn.
Yeah,
they'll catch fire. Silver maple will do that. You catch it fire, and it'll burn holes in the ground back in underneath, burning the roots. Some maple or walnut, you can light it and light it and light it and light it. Yeah. Hickory, same way, pretty much.
yeah.
But I've got an old chair in there. If you light a match to an old chair or an old Davenport sitting up on the end, it'll burn to nothing real quick. And then,
Actually,
and then get your leaf blower.
So they, I don't know if he had a dull chainsaw blade or what, something, or just because he was hitting it so much, but his chainsaw lit the damn fire on that big stump they cut out over there on the front of the house. Burned half the stuff out. It's like, well, fools. Stump or flash tree removal. He said, no, I'd be extra for that. Tell you what, there's no charge for that one.
I think everybody's gone. I think I've done bored them to death. Now my wife bought me these Kamika here for Christmas. I'd never spend that much money, but I was awful damn glad she bought it for me. They're real nice. But I was using a different software for streaming. I just switched to this one today because I was trying to get this voice command thing to work, and it'll work on this. It's supposed to work on this. To Anvil. You bitch. Also, if anybody types the word anvil in the comments, it'll switch. Now that part works. Also, if anybody types the word mute, it'll mute the sound. But the other day on that other software, I had this Kamika hooked up, and I had it like 6 inches away from that noisy ass saw of mine in there, and you couldn't hear it. Matter of fact, you couldn't hear me blowing my nose. But that you heard.
You starting on part 2 now, or are you finishing?
I am going to go far as to cut this one off.
You'll reuse that.
Yeah, that'll make yet more
Make it another one.
tongs. Well, it'll be close to making 2 of them. I just went and bought 20 foot of this. It might make 2 if I squeeze it right. Bought 20 foot of that. I had to buy new because they didn't have any. There's a Warner Steel over on the other side of 65 on Raymond Street. They've got what they call the drops. Like, if you want 19 pieces of 3/8, 1 foot long, it's so much a foot, no matter how long you get it, and they'll cut it. They'll give you a 19-foot piece, and it's the same amount for 19 1-foot pieces, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Save you the trouble and
that
a lot easier to
it's in a 20-foot stick. That 1-foot piece that's left, they'll put in the drops. And guys like, I can walk in there and just buy it for so much a pound. So I went to drops and got a couple pieces. They didn't have a lot of what I wanted, so I bought a 20-foot stick of 3/8 rod and a 20-foot stick of that. And that ends up to being about $5 for 2 feet of it.
Careful.
The 3/8 rod was, I think, $1.09 a foot. Now, how far do I go? That far. I don't think I'll go any further with that. Set that over there to cool. Of course, I don't have any water in my bucket. How's that big, expensive golf cart of yours doing?
Solid leak oil.
It stopped or it's not?
Stop. They ended up taking the drain plug out of it. I still can't actually figure out why there's 2 drain plugs in it. One that was leaking was not at the lowest point of the engine. Can't for the life of me figure that out. But they ended up just putting the block thread on it. It ain't coming out again. Must really work at it, I suppose.
I assume it's got a centrifugal clutch with a continuous variable transmission.
Yeah.
That scooter of mine had one of those, but it had a wet clutch.
Oh, yeah.
And I found out two things the hard way. Number one is the crankcase and the clutch chamber were two different chambers that you filled separately, but they did share oil.
Once again.
And also, you don't want to put any synthetic blended oil in one with that clutch. Because it's too good for it. And it'll make it slip. So I had to rebuild my clutch, pull all the plates out. I went in and ordered plates. Mine weren't wore out, but I ordered plates and then took it apart and rebuilt it with new plates. And then just kept putting regular old cheap Walmart oil in it, and it was just fine. Now what I'll do is Saturday out at Waverly, I'll take off from the point where, about where you walked up. Well, ain't no sense of running off mad. Glad you got to see me. Anybody still here? To Anvil. And it switched. To Anvil and me. And it switched. To all. Ain't that something how that works? To Anvil. To Anvil. I can't get it to go back. Somebody type in the word anvil. Nothing more, just the word anvil. And it quit listening. Start listening. Thank you, Charming Hollow Forge, and it worked. Either you or Smyrna. I can't figure out why, but it keeps, the listening keeps turning off. So I say, to Anvil and me. To all. To anvil. Just got off work, heading to get my hair cut. To anvil. To anvil. Rotten bastard. To anvil and fire. And it's not listening again. To anvil. Maybe I need to cut down. There's a setting on it. Stop listening. Settings. Confidence level. To anvil. One thing about these Rode microphones I'm not too hot about. Is you have to have a Rode microphone application running to get them to work. And the listener mute. By chance, Hans, are you going to Urbana next year? You know, these microphones not picking up the background sounds is kind of nice that you don't have to hear the banging on the anvil and stuff, but if I'm not talking, it gives you the impression that there's no audio. To anvil and me. Yeah. Damn if I can figure out why that voice listener wants to work. Some of the times real good and some of the times not at all. I assume start listening. Start listening. Okay, now my PC is listening. To Anvil. Yep, it's not doing a thing. It's been right at 10 years since I saw you at Dreyer's Motorsports when I picked up the white scoot. Time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. 10 years. I was still working for a living then. And so were you, you old retired coot. You lost the echo. You know, I'm guessing that the echo is because I've got two microphones. This one over here is stopped. That's why I lost it. That one there has stopped. Probably the battery dead. But the Rode microphone's still working. Well, I think that's upset enough. I'm just about done for the day. I wanted to come out here and weld up a half a set of tongs. For a tong class that I'm giving the 10th of February at Waverly. And in that tone class, they can make a set like that. There we go. Or they can make just a set of flat bits. Or they can make some V bits if they want. Or I will show them how to turn a set of flat bits into a set of box jaws by welding a piece on to one of the bits if they want. My head, my head, my head is on fire. See you later, Hans. And the rest of you, I bid adieu. Cut up my can of, there we go, 600 flux that I use because I can get it for 10 bucks a can. Stop listening. Shut that damn thing off from beeping at me. Have a good one, Bill, and everyone. Well, okay. Mr. Danimal, you take care. Have fun there in that 70 damn degree weather in Oklahoma.